Guys, we've got a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Scott, are you going Jalen Hurts in a 25 first projected mid, or Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor? Go ahead, man.
Man, start us off with a tough one. So you're getting the better QB in Jalen Hurts, right, Shane? Yeah, I knew that would feed into Shane's opinion on the quarterbacks. But you know what? I think you can go either way on this. If you're willing to kind of just liquidate your running back value like we probably would, and you're willing to take the gamble on Hurts over Allen, I kind of like the flexibility of having the first over Jonathan Taylor. I feel like I can replace him easier than get an extra first without busting up the core. But if you said the other side, I totally can't argue with getting Josh Allen in a deal and getting a good player back as well. So I'd lean, give me the flexibility, but it's like 51-49.
Okay. Shane, thoughts? We know you have some homer status with Hurts here, but go ahead, man.
Well, so I was just checking out KTC. Oh, my lips are not synced with my time. That's fun. Hopefully that catches up. Anyway, I was looking at KTC. Apparently, Jalen Hurts is the QB5 because America can't read and is illiterate and does not deserve nice things. All that said, I'll take Jalen Hurts in the first over Josh Allen in the running back. Although I still take Josh Allen over CJ Stroud, and that's apropos of nothing other than I want to get the crowd fired up.
Wait, say that last part again. I was about to switch over to another banner. What'd you say? Right.
No, I said I just wanted to say I'll take Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts over CJ Stroud. It's not it has nothing to do. It's not even germane to the conversation. But I just want to see somebody go nuts in our comments again and tell me that I don't watch football. Blow me.
That's why I asked you again. Nerdworks, thank you for the hammer. I appreciate it. It is a 12-team Superflex start 9. Got Lamb for a 25 first and Diggs. Team is Allen Burrow, Kyron, Bijan, JT, JJ, Lamb. Also has Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, T. Andrews at tight end. Thinking that 25 first will be late. You guys are heroes to those who listen and the blight of anyone who doesn't. That's awesome. All right. Thanks for the hammer, Nerdworks. What do you think here, Shane? 12-team Superflex start 9. Shallow. Got Lamb. Gave a 25 first and Diggs.
So, you know what you say, you always stick to the process, except when it's a start 9 and the process is getting a old wide receiver in a late first or a top 5 at worst, top 4 dynasty wide receiver. Absolutely smash Lamb. Like, I couldn't make this deal fast enough. Whoever you made that deal with thinks they're pretty smart, but they're really not. This is one where they've outsmarted themselves. Well, they might be smart in other aspects of life, but not in this particular trade.
Scott, how mad do you think the league was that this guy got Lamb on his team as well to go with JJ, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown?
I mean, he already has Allen, Burrow, Bijan, Jefferson, Lamb, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown. So he has, 7 of the top 20 players or better? And you just handed him another one in the start 9. So, yeah, this is a rough look for that league. I'm probably wondering if I'm in that league, where do I go if I have, the 3rd best team? Because this is the one where you just hope variance catches them in the wrong week and they have 2 injuries and 2 bust weeks and you squeak out a victory, but odds are not in your favor, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a powerhouse team for sure. Let's go to Senior Frog. Thank you for the hammer. Appreciate it. 10-team Superflex PPR start 10. Scott, we'll start with you on this one. Herbert, Kyler, Watson. And then at running back, Saquon, Gus Bus, and Trash Cans. Wide receivers, CD, DJ Moore, Amari. And then at tight ends, Njoku, Goddard, and Chiggy. Picks-wise, 103, 105, 106, 203, 4, and 5. And also 210. Tight ends matter in non-tight end premium leagues. The question is trade Goddard / Chig away for picks. And then he's asking what he should do with these first, basically. The activity is mid in the league. It's the second-year team. It was a productive struggle, deliberate. Anyway, 10-team Superflex PPR start 10s. Scott, what do you think here? As his camera goes.
Yeah, I took the camera off instead of the mute button. Tight ends do matter when you have positional advantage, but not at the Goddard and Chig level. So, yes, if you can get anything for those guys, just get a second tight end behind Njoku and roll with that combo. And then the picks, I mean, what's going to be available? Hopefully the league still values QBs more than I will. I really don't want to pick a fourth QB unless it's, I'll take Michael Penix or Bo Nix with the 203, 4, 5. I'll just add a fourth, but I'm not interested in using any premier top 6 picks on QBs. So hopefully the league goes Caleb, Marv, you get Neighbors, then they go Jaden Daniels, then you get a Dunze, and then maybe you take Bowers, maybe you trade. I mean, you have some flexibility. You don't have to make all 3 picks that you have in the top 6, but I'm trying to get receiver and running back value. You're good at tight end. You're good at quarterback. Use those extra picks to either add to one of those picks to get a better player or kick one to the future. Maybe you get back a starter in a future first. Like, be creative.
Yeah, let me ask you that, because if I'm looking at this team, or if this owner is looking at their team, the running back room is probably what sticks out. Doesn't look pretty on paper. How are you addressing that room in particular? I know it's only April 9th, the time of this recording, but how are you addressing that?
I mean, it's a 10-team start 10, so we don't know how many roster spots, but I assume you're going to be able to have some access to draft a running back if you want at the 203, 4, 5. One of those picks is probably an RB because it's the 113, 114, 115. So it's still
good players there.
Top 15 picks. You're going to probably get a running back or 2 there. Could look to trade one of the top 6 picks. Could you get A-Chain for the 106 in a 10-teamer? I'm doing that all day. I'll make the 3 and the 5. I'll get the 6, and maybe I add that 204 for A-Chain. I would do that. But I think you just kind of build it. You have Saquon. You have Gus. He's probably usable as your RB2, RB3. You need probably 3 Gus Edwards on your roster. Like, you need 3 types like that have some guaranteed role. But then other than that, I'm just kind of building it with bodies. I'm not chasing another hammer running back if it's going to cost me, 103 and 105. I'm just not interested in paying that price. Sure.
So let's go to one from the. That's going to be a good Scott question. I'll save that one. Scott Landry has a question for Shane. Thank you. In a 12-team start 8 superflex PPR non-tight end premium start 8, if I didn't say that, what's the best way to roster construct, Shane? 12-team superflex start 8.
So we will give a legitimate answer, right? We would like to consolidate all of our mediocre assets for more better assets whenever possible. Picks mean less to me because it's start 8. I don't want to have to make any pick after about 104, 5 most years. This year, I'd be okay with at least 107, but most years I don't want to make those picks. No tight end premium, so that means you roster 1 tight end. That sounds about right. It's got 1 tight end, and it's either a stud, an absolute monster, or just a random dude that's going to play 17 weeks next year. Thin it wide receiver and heavy at running back. Usual.
Yeah. I'll just chime in. Don't ask questions like that if you're not going to give the number of roster spots, because that's a huge strategic edge if you can calculate that. Because what if I told you, Shane, that it was 30-man rosters? We would never advocate setting the league up with start 8 30-man rosters. No. But what if it was? We've seen some that are like that. I'd argue in that league, you know what I would be willing to do? I will trade you the 109. You give me 7 thirds. I'll just take 7 players because I can take unlimited stashes, and you're probably drafting a guy at 109 that's just as shaky to hit the lineup as the 7 shots that I get later. So it's if it's 20-man rosters, I can't afford to take 7 shots, right? But if it's deep rosters, like you see in a lot of these leagues, I kind of want to tier off. After the starter range, I'll actually tier off for more volume because it gives me a better shot of hitting the fluke Kyron Williams, Tank Dell. And all of a sudden I found gold when, great, you got 1 pick, and it was Brian Thomas. He better hit. I got 7 players. You got 1, and they're both below the threshold. So we got to know the number of teams in the league. We need the number of teams in the league.
In that format, right? There's a lot of variance, so you're trying to hit those. Take these shots, make more bets.
If it's a start 8, it should be 22-man rosters or something like that. It 16. Shouldn't be deep. It has to be aligned with the number of starters. Otherwise, you just create an inefficient market. We like inefficient markets here. I like to exploit inefficiencies in life, including dynasty leagues.
So let's go to Dax here from the crowd with some kind of Pokemon character. He says, if you get to my hammer tonight, one, it's my anniversary. Well, congratulations. Happy anniversary to you. And he does have an inbox offer in here that Shane probably started. Thank you. It's give the 101 Charbonnet and a 25 third. Get the 103 London and Trey Lance. What do you think here, Shane?
So I'm coming at this from the angle that I probably need a quarterback, and I want Caleb Williams significantly more than I want the other options in this class. It's closer that we get to the real NFL draft. So I'm going to hold on to the 101 side. I know London is probably the wide receiver 1+ on KTC at this moment. I understand that he's going to completely smash next year, and that I'm a fool for not projecting that he will. But I'm still going to go with the 101 side with Caleb Williams, who I project to be a very, 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 very good Superflex quarterback.
Did Dax put the format in here somewhere? Is there another one potentially? I just posted, Dax, if you can hear me right now, if you could just let us know what the format is. But let's
Shane,
just assume. Go ahead.
Shane, you have 3 top 12 quarterbacks already, Shane. What side on this trade?
Then I'll go 103, 101, or excuse me, 103 in London. No, I'm not. Because what else can I get for that 101? But it does. But what else can I get for 101?
You're getting Malik Neighbors and Drake London.
I like the Malik Neighbors, and then I could move London for probably.
And that's at least a first in Drake London. If I asked you Malik Neighbors and a first for Marvin Harrison, you would take Malik Neighbors in a first. But you're getting even more here, and you're taking the Marv side. I don't understand. Maybe. Doesn't compute.
A lot of things don't compute. Drake is Drake London? Never mind. I'm not even
Drake London's easily worth a first, isn't he?
Please get into it.
Oh, yes, he definitely is. He's the wide receiver 10. I project him. Project is going to be my word for the week and watch football since I don't do either. I project, I'm doing my projections, Drake London for 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns on 96 receptions, and finishing the year as the wide receiver 13. And everybody that paid wide receiver 10 is going to pull out their penis and say, oh, yeah, I really did it. They're going to throw it on the table. And I'm going to be like, dude, you overpaid for an underperformance. But anywho, you probably should take that side and then move London.
Now, Shane, how many points would that be PPR wise?
Oh, wide receiver 13.
You said 96. What was it? 96?
96, 7, and
1,207?
Yeah, so it's probably be higher than that.
258 fantasy points, so it's about 16 a game. I'll take it.
That's it. Yeah, okay. If he gives you 16 points a game, I personally think you should be disappointed because everybody out here is hyping him up like he's basically the next Jesus on the field.
Jacob, thank. I don't know. There's like so much funnier stuff.
Sense,
I was waiting for you to keep going. I was like going in my own head. I could see Scott was too, but okay, Jacob, thank you for the hammer. Much appreciated. Scott, starting with you here. Here's another shallow one. So it's a 12-team Superflex PPR start 8. Stroud, Herbert at quarterback, Brees, Connor, and trash cans at running back. JJ, Nico, T at wide receiver, then has Andrews. Only pick is 207. League mate really wants Brees. Thinking about selling Brees for Puka, a 25 first, which would be hitting his back, and Chuba Hubbard. Was planning to contend this year, but would have cans at running back. I think the value is too good to pass up, and I would rather keep my stock in wide receivers than running backs. Am I crazy? So going back, 12-team Superflex, PPR start 8, and it's selling Brees for Puka, his own 25 first, and Chuba Hubbard.
Well, let's go through it position by position. Yes or no to the chat. Do we have a potential positional advantage at tight end? Yes or no? Yeah, right. Andrews can be a positional advantage, right?
Sure.
We have the QB1 in Dynasty, at least for about 8 hours, CJ Stroud. We have Justin Herbert. I mean, listen, I think a lot of people are down on Herbert, but he's probably still top 15 top 12. And then we have another difference maker in Jefferson. All of a sudden, we're at 4 potential above neutral players, at least. And then you add in Breece Hall. I mean, I don't know. I like the idea. I think it comes down to what can I do with the first? How active is the league? Is the first going to do anything other than sit there to where next year I go, oh, I have the 109. What should I do with it in a start 8? Trade it for 7 third-rounders like we suggested 5 minutes ago, So I think if I can get another starter with the first, sure. I don't mind going from Breece to Puka, but I could also say in a start 8, keep the hammers you have. Try to add to what you already have, whatever creative ways you can.
Shane, you're raising your hand to either fix your blurriness or you want to speak about this 12-team start 8. No. Okay.
I'm lagging again, but I'd like to note that CJ Stroud is the QB1 again on KTC.
Got it. Yeah, I mean this one's tough. This one's tough. Looking at the team, Scott, it's almost like you want your 25 first back, right? But it's that shallow format. It's kind of right there. I'd love to turn that 207 and God, I don't know, a couple of the cans that he says he has into a 25 first. I would just feel good having a 25 first there. And then I would think about keeping Breece, keeping the hammer. But
see, you're probably not going to be able to do that. What you're going to need to,
I know.
What you're going to like, I'm taking the deal, assuming again, like Scott said, how active is the league? Now, what can I do with that first? What can that first and T and a can get me? You know what I mean? Can it get me a running back in the realm of Breece Hall? Because then I've turned Breece Hall into a Breece Hall like light player. And Puka, how about I go get a chain for that first? I'll throw that first at someone and see if I can get that.
I don't know. I think I'm doing this trade. I don't know if it's an active league.
We need a can opener sponsor. If we could get that, we could actually help people extract some value out of the cans on their team. We just need a can opener sponsor.
That Can Crusher company that reached out, they didn't respond to my counter. I made an aggressive counter to their offer for 1 free Can Crusher for a YouTube video. It's like, I don't know what we're worth, but probably more than that. Ethan, thank you for the hammer. Shane, we'll start with you on this one. It is a 12-team Superflex PPR start 9. Kyler, Stafford, Fields, Minshew at quarterback. Ayuk, Dotson, and trash cans at wide receiver. James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, and then at tight end, Evan Ingram. Has the 102, 108, 211, 225 first, 325 seconds. Fraud runner-up and drafted Fields first round. So I'm stanking. This is an OG guy here. Would love to trade up from the 108 secure 2 stud wide receivers, but I know I'm relatively thin. Could trade back the 102 for depth, but it's only a start 9. Sold all the old balls and am stanking. Once again, he's leaning into the stank. What do you think here, Shane?
I actually spaced out on the second half of that, so let me see the second half because I was completely listening.
You're
the first
fine.
Half.
Yeah, so would love to trade up from the 108 to secure 2 stud wide receivers, but he knows he's like thin, he's not super deep. Or you could trade back, but recognize it's a start 9. So
sold all the old balls. So how do we move up? What do we have here to move up? Boo. Yeah. I don't know. If you wanted to give up Ayuk and Cook, you could maybe get the 106, 105, start 9. I don't think someone. I'm assuming that's not Dalvin, right? That's probably James. Since you didn't can him. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you'll be able to move up significantly from 108. If you want, you could try the 108 and Ayuk and see how high that gets you. I'd be fine getting up to 103. What, Scott? You look disappointed.
I'm just blowing this thing up, even in a start 9. Go ahead, Scott.
Here's the thing. He just said in the chat, the 101 said he's taking Marvin Harrison Jr. So now we're basically on Caleb. This team doesn't have the ammo to add an Ayuk to a first to go get another rookie receiver. For what purpose? So now you have Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison as your wide receiver 1 and 2 and absolutely no other assets at all.
Well, let me ask you this, though. In a start nine, would you take Jefferson and Chase and then All right, Dodson. Man, it's really bad after that.
We got nothing
All
to
right,
trade.
never mind.
Ayuk's our second best asset, Shane. So
Yeah, you're right. I looked after that. If I can get to 103 somehow without giving up Ayuk, sure, but I don't know in what world you would do that. The only way I can imagine you'd be able to do that is splitting Kyler until like 103 and something else. But then I don't know that you have the quarterbacks to compete. Matter of fact, I know you don't have the quarterbacks to compete since your second best quarterback is a backup.
yeah, I mean, try to trade back from the 102 to 103 now, or just take Caleb, shed everything, like blow it up, like Clay said. I mean, it just doesn't feel like a team that has the ammo to move up and actually win. Go the other way.
Scott, we'll start with you on this one. Kevin, thank you for the 3 hammers. Much appreciated. And thank you to the 756 eyeballs currently watching. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out this channel. Kevin has a Josh Allen, Geno Smith, Mike White led QB room. Brees, Chuba, Warren, Chase Brown, and trash cans. Has Tyreek Hill, Cup, Nico, Diggs, Lockett, and then at tight end, Waller, Hawkinson, Chig, and Knox. Sold all picks to go all in. Ship runner up. Keep it lit. Well, let's try to win the ship this year. What do you think here, Scott? It's 12-team Superflex, start 10.
I'm guessing that's Rashad White, not Mike White. I would hope. I don't know why he listed him before Brees, but I'm guessing it's Rashad White. If it's Mike White, then God bless Mike White for making his first appearance ever on this show. But thank you.
No, he's been on the show before.
He's been on this show.
He's been on the show before.
I'm sure I've brought his name up as somebody I want to trade for as a backup QB.
You have.
I haven't seen him listed on somebody's roster. But anyway.
No, I feel like we've seen Mike White named and we made fun of whoever named him.
Okay. Maybe you can go back in the archives and find it for us.
Yeah, I'll go watch these shows now.
All right. So Josh Allen, we got the hammer QB, so you can get by with basically bodies and Geno Smith. I mean, you can probably make that work. What can we sell? What can we liquidate here that doesn't hurt our chances to win? Do we need Jaylen Warren, Chase Brown, and Rashad White? All 3 of those guys have a little value, a little more in Rashad versus Warren versus Brown, but we don't need all 3. We probably need something out of our tight end room. Do you have the balls to go into the year with Chiga, Okonkwo, and gamble on Darren Waller, and the only guy I can really sell is TJ Hawkinson?
Darren Waller's retiring hard.
But the point is you can't get anything for him.
No.
What assets do I have to sell? Do I keep Hawkinson?
No,
I think
it's
one and a half. I'm selling
different. I'm selling Nico. Well, I'm putting Nico on the block. I'm looking to what's up.
You're selling Chase Brown, Steph Diggs, Hawkinson. What you're getting for those 3 items, hell if I know. You can't sell Chig for anything. Knox shouldn't be on a roster. Not to be confused with Dalton Schultz like I did.
Here's what you do, Shane. You go sell Josh Allen for CJ Stroud. You go package Cooper Kupp and Jaylen Warren for Tank Dell. You sell Darren Waller and Chiga Okonkwo for Dalton Schultz. And you just start 5 Texans. And you just go all in. CJ Stroud is the first quarterback that could throw for 6,000 yards.
Oh, easy. 6,000 yards and 60 touchdowns. I'm doing my projections on CJ Stroud, and that might be light.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling here. So let's go to the crowd. Let's see what we have starred in here. We've got Destination Debbie Fantasy Football. We know them. He said, "We in the building." What's up, Ray? Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Ray.
On the dot. Hello.
Hey, real quick. I don't know if anyone watched Wake Up on that was Monday, Scott. That was Monday.
Yesterday.
Is today only Tuesday? Good Lord, this is a long week. Anywho, announced the DD guide, rookie draft guide, the guide. There's no other guide that you need. I'll just put that out there. If you're buying other guides, unless you're independently wealthy, or just make a decent living, there's no need to waste your money on any other guide. I'll just tell you that right now. Because if you do, all you're doing is kind of like how I listen to certain podcasts just to listen to bad advice, so I know how good advice is. But anywho,
nice. Any promo code or anything?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I actually heard one on. I have no idea. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know why they involved me with this, because the detail stuff really not my strong suit.
If you haven't signed up, I've said it every show. Sign up for Underdog. DDD is the code. Literally sign up your significant other, your
Kids,
your kids, your parents, your coworkers, your friends.
dead or alive.
They'll all get entered to get a ton of different prizes. We have a roster review. We have Heisman memberships. We have all those jerseys and autograph cards and everything that we hammered out the promos on Twitter, but also draft guides. So get in there, use that code. Even if you got to sign up there, there's going to be at least 20 different people with the last name of some form of Connor that will be in there. Even though I'm not eligible, there will be. I have a big family, 19 aunts and uncles combined. So a lot of them are going to be signing up using that code DDD.
Wow.
Yeah, and then draft night. Yeah, we'll be streaming live Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll catch up after this, Scott. Okay, so let's go to Puma Sports International with the three hammers. Shane, we'll start with you. He says quandary. Is that how you spell quandary?
No.
Is that not heavy on the last A there?
That is definitely not how you spell quandary. That is
definitely how you spell quandary.
Yep, 100%
correct. How you spell it. Come on,
100% correct.
Just looked weird.
I spell checked it.
Looked weird to me tonight. 12-team start 10 PPR 1.5 for the tight ends. We're assuming it's Superflex here. It's got Stroud, Dak, Aaron Rodgers. Running backs are CMC, Moss, JJ Olave, AJ Brown, Pittman, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, Mandrews and Otten at tight ends. Pick-wise has the 206 and says he has 3 strong 25 first, Shane. Long-term inbox offer.
This looks like one of my text messages.
Okay, inbox offer the 103 for CMC, but unsure. The last part is tempted to move soon to be 28-year-old, but can't access any other hammer running backs without paying a king's ransom. Hold CMC for one more season. Thank you. So let me just recap it real quick, Shane. So 12-team Superflex start 10. 103 or CMC.
Oh, I thought you were recapping the whole John. Similar to a wife, you want to get out on old running backs a year or two early rather than a year or two late. So I will take the 103 for CMC. A lot of flexibility at that pick. Obviously, you are looking at probably being able to get Malik Neighbors at worst. That's pretty good. Caleb Williams, maybe. But if you don't need him, obviously, the flexibility that it gives you. The police are coming. I'm going to put us on mute in a minute. But yes, I would make that deal because, yes, he is a 28-year-old running back.
What do you think here, Scott?
I'm okay with it. If there's one caveat, I better look at your roster. There better not be another receiver after those 5 plus the Malik Neighbors that you're going to draft at 103. You better not have another tight end on your roster besides Mark Andrews and Cade Otton. You better have a bunch of backup QBs besides Stroud and Dak. You can probably sell Aaron Rodgers for a running back if somebody's willing to give you a starter. I'm talking James Conner, Alvin Kamara, someone like that. Like I don't care going slim at QB if I can pick up a bunch of backups. Doesn't this feel like one where if he can hit on some cheap running backs, Clay, and hit on some 2-week spot starters or find a Zach Moss of next year, this team can win.
Oh, it can.
Christian
McCaffrey. It's got a puncher's chance for sure.
You got to maximize everything you have around the strengths you already have, which you have an elite tight end, 2 really good quarterbacks, a very good wide receiver core. Those are dialed in. So cast as what? Literally, what is that? 7 or 6 receivers, 2 tight ends, as many quarterbacks as you can handle, and then as many running backs as you can handle, whatever your total roster spots are. But your receivers should be 6, your tight ends should be 2. Every other roster spot should be a QB or a running back. Do that, you got a chance. You got permission to move that 103 or take McCaffrey off your team for the 103.
Love it. Good timestamp there. Okay. Shane, you're back. And we've got and on mute. No, you're fine. We've got you for a best ball one here. 12-team Superflex PPR. It looks like, 12-team Superflex PPR 1.5 for the tight end. Start 10. Allen Lance at quarterback. Ken Walker, Justice Hill, Naheem Hines, Sean Tucker at running back. JJ Amon-Ra, Puka, Higgins, Dobbs, Shakir, Gabe Davis, and trash cans. Kincaid, Freiermuth, and Goddard at tight ends. Has the 107, 111, and all 2025 picks. Shane, again, this is best ball. Do I sell all the picks for the best QB I can get and win now, or try and draft 2 rookie QBs? The activity level in this league is mid. 12-team Superflex start 10. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not going to be moving 1, 2, 3. All his 25. I'm assuming he has 125 picks. I'm not moving 3 first for a quarterback. Lance. Who is Lance? Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
Did he literally name Trey Lance as a second quarterback? Now that is problematic. I won't lie to you. That is not ideal. But I think I'd rather go JJ McCarthy at 107 and Michael Penix at 111, or who was Hines? Naheem Hines? Did he name Naheem Hines?
Bro, we're listing Sean Tucker, Naheem Hines, Justice Hill.
No, you can't
Lance.
afford this. You need to move Josh Allen, dude. Like, your team is ungood. And I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, other than saying that your team is ungood. So that being a derogatory term. But yeah, no, I don't like your team. Trey Lance is your QB too. You listed Justice Hill, Naheem Hines, Sean Tucker. I forgot about. I legitimately forgot about. I'd like to split up. I'd like to split up Allen. Your wide receivers are fine, obviously, with JJ, Amon-Ra, and Puka. But can I split up Allen? Is there any way to get a quarterback and another pick for Allen?
Well, again, another person asking a question that does not say how many roster spots they are. In best ball, it is absolutely important we know the roster spots. Because I'm looking at this team going, JJ, Amon-Ra, Puka, Higgins, Dobbs, Shakir, Gabe Davis. Those are all great. Yeah. I have an awesome tight end room here for best ball. I have some picks, but here's what's lacking. I do not have the running back floor. I'm getting zeros at 70% of the running back weeks right now, barring that I don't have a bunch of other guys that he didn't list. And I assume listing Naheem Hines and Justice Hill and Sean Tucker means like that's it. So what's losing you this league is you do need a couple more quarterbacks. You don't need studs. Give me an Aaron Rodgers. Give me a Derek Carr. I can get by with 3 absolutely year-to-year shitty quarterbacks with Josh Allen. I can get by with some running backs with roles. How do I get those? Can I move 107 for 2 pieces? A veteran running back and another piece. Like, this team can win. This team isn't so far off that you need to blow it up. It has awful roster construction. I don't think he needs to split.
You don't think he needs to split? Okay. All right. Well,
with Josh Allen in best ball, you can get by. Trey Lance, you're probably cutting. I will never forget last year, the week where you had Easton Stick going up against Aiden O'Connell and Mitch Trubisky against Bailey Zappi, and they all end up in best ball like top 12 for the week.
Smashing.
Bro, I got you.
That can win.
We got Ken and well, I won't say anything untoward, but you still need to get through the other 16 weeks of the year. So that might work. You might get 2 weeks out of that.
Go by Russell. Can you get Russell Wilson and a running back with a platoon role for the 111? I've tried to sell Russell Wilson. Not a single person wants him. So that would be a perfect guy to just bet on here if you can get 2 pieces. Can I sell the 107 for 2 pieces, the 111 for 2 pieces, end up with 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs? This team's a contender without touching my 25 picks. But you got to roster construct better. You're dying at running back here, and your quarterbacks are obviously just Allen.
Yep. And we can add to the intake form on Buy Me a Coffee too, or Buy Me a Hammer. How many roster spots and all. It's especially important for best ball. It sounds like, but yeah, that's not something historically we've requested. So yeah, we'll try to way to save characters yet get that important stuff.
I mean,
right?
we listed on the roster reviews, so we definitely feel it's important. So almost anything that's on the roster reviews, except for the open-ended questions, would probably be okay on the form.
Yeah, just after the 10, we just do 30. Yeah, one more number.
Yep. Okay. Rock and roll. Let's keep rolling here. Nick, Thank you for the hammer. He says, love the show. Scott, let's start with you here. So just traded the 204, 207, and 308 for Diggs and Pollard after listening to the Draft Pick War podcast. Using Pollard as my hero running back, still have the 101, 102, 104, 106, 210, 212. It says hashtag hammers. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. What do you think here, Scott?
Well, the guy that accepted that trade definitely did not listen to the Draft Pick War Pod because he gave away 2 starters for he just had to have those picks, that 204, 207, and 308. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great deal. It has nothing to really you didn't need the Draft Pick War podcast to say that would be a decent deal to get Diggs and Pollard for. I guess if you're saying you're getting out on those assets because they're going to be done for after this year, but you could also argue the production they might give you just for 1 year is worth more than those picks alone. So great job. I'd probably try to add another guy like a Pollard, but I mean, look at the picks, dude. The 2, the 1, the 4, the 6. I mean, hell, go back to that guy. Tell him you got the 210 and the 212. He's probably going nuts. And get 2 more seconds.
Exactly.
2 more starters coming your way.
Cluster those seconds, man. No, that's a good point. Yeah, he's in good shape. When you have the 101, 2, 4, 6, good things can happen. Got a lot of flexibility, a lot of leverage there. Okay.
I mean, not for nothing.
Yeah, what's up?
Just as an aside, I know people get on us a lot that we love rookie picks, but this is why we're always trading for rookie picks, random first, things like that, because I guarantee you, everyone that one of those picks, the person that had originally owned them, did not think it was going to be the 102 and 104. Maybe the 106. That's mid. But absolutely no one is generally giving up a rookie pick that they think is going to be the 102.
Yeah, it could be step 2 of 6 in this like optimal plan you have. So never done. Okay, let's keep rolling here to Matt. Shane, we'll start with you here, bud. 12-team, 1 QB, half PPR, start 9. Thank you for the hammer, Matt. A-Rich, Watson, Howell at quarterback. Ken Walker, David Montgomery, Javonte Williams, Warren Singletary, and then also list Roshan, Lamb, Olave, Ayuk, Nico, Dell, Lockett, Dobbs at wide receiver, and then Laporta at tight end. It says package 1 Houston wide receiver / KW3 / pick to upgrade at running back. What do you think? That's the whole question here, Shane. 12-team, 1 QB, half PPR, start 9.
I mean, in theory, it sounds fine, right? Let me just trade Ken Walker and okay, then what though? Who are you tearing up to? Because Ken Walker, I'm not looking. I can't find him on KTC right now because he's not on the first page. But last I saw, he was top 10 running back, right? So do you think that someone's going to take in a start 9? Is anyone going to take Nico and Ken Walker for Brees, Bijan, CMC, Gibbs, a chain? Maybe a chain. It does sound good in theory, but yeah, does he have Diggs? He doesn't have Diggs, right? That's the one I want to trade. I don't want to trade Nico or Dell. I don't know that you need to upgrade from KW. Why even upgrading? Like, I like your running back room, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Scott?
I mean, yeah, I guess that would be what would be the targets that you'd be willing to take one of those receivers and add to get an upgrade. It is a start 9, but it is 1 QB. So it's almost like it's a start 10 in Superflex. You still need the same number of starters. So I don't see a lot of upgrades probably at running back that you can reasonably get without saying, here, Shane, you want Bijan Robinson? You give me CeeDee Lamb and Ken Walker. I'll give you Bijan.
I will not speak
half PPR. Running backs are dominant, right? Like that's probably the price you're going to have to pay to go get an elite running back. And I mean, you're a tier or 2 below. Can you go and just get another? I mean, do we really need another running back, Clay? We have Monty, Javonte, Jalen Warren, Devin Singletary. Like, we have enough to get by there, don't we?
For sure.
There's just no reason to upgrade, honestly.
Yeah, you're in good shape. And again, it's April 9th. So whether it's now or later, you don't even need to. It doesn't seem like. Go ahead, Shane.
I'll just say that I'll keep advocating for people to go get themselves a chain. Just get a chain because he's cheaper than the elite tier. I don't know if you could, but I feel like you could probably trade like Nico, and it doesn't need to be KW, Nico, and like a second for a chain. That's something that I would do. And I think the production that he's going to be able to give you at the cost compared to the other running backs that we're talking about in that realm of scoring, it's very it's cost effective. That's the word I'm looking for. It's cost effective.
Shane, I just saw your message there. I can't put that starred message up on the screen. Like it's
Why?
look too much like Jackass. No, I'm kidding. Let me hide this. No, it was from Adam. Apparently, there was a Buy Me a Hammer that it's 3 months old or something like that. So it was Adam Ramsey. Email here, let's give this to email Roman at dynastytradesand5.com and we'll get this taken care of. Why are you shaking your head, Shane?
No, we haven't done a video in a minute of a missed question. So maybe if his question isn't, maybe we'll do a video. We'll
No, it's getting close. Sandiford and yeah, we don't need to talk about this, but yeah, it's getting tighter. We're getting there. We're just cleaning up the poor Adam Ramseys. So Roman at dynastytradesand5.com, Adam, and we'll get it answered. Yeah, I'm doing a hammer stream tomorrow with John Bauer. So we'll answer it tomorrow. Okay. So let's unstar that. Let's go back to these hammers. Tyler Maybe is the name. 2 hammers. Thank you very much. Scott, we'll start with you. 12-team Superflex PPR start 9. Quarterbacks are Burrow and Baker. Bijan, James Cook, B-Rob, Warren at running back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Flowers, Rice, Addison, JSN, Downs. And then at tight end, have Laporta and Kincaid along with Mayer. Pick-wise, 101, 103, 202, 6, and then 325 first and a couple seconds. He says, am I crazy if I go Marv and Neighbors, assuming Caleb goes 102? And then he talks about packaging picks for a hammer. He says, appreciate it, boys. This is a mid-activity league, Scott, and says he just traded Kendre Miller, 207 and a late 25 first for Baker. Okay. Well, let's address 12-team Superflex start 9. Scott, what do you think? He was asking if he's crazy if he goes Marvin Neighbors.
No, but I also probably wouldn't have traded that much for Baker Mayfield, just given the assets that I currently have. I mean, man, he really go back to the first part. Holy shit, did he lean into the 23 class? Flowers, Rice, Addison, JSN, Downs, Laporta, Kincaid, Mayer. I mean, that's a nice tight end haul that you drafted. So I think you have some places you can move. Can you move Kincaid or Laporta? I'd start there. It's a start 9 PPR. Why do I need 3 tight ends? Definitely don't need 2 top 5 tight ends. So that's a place you can move. Running backs are fine. I mean, I'm fine with Bijan, James Cook, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren. Hell, if you could move James Cook, I'd consider doing that if you could get a first. You have probably a receiver or 2 you could tier off of if you wanted to try to move up from 102 to 101 or 103 to 102 and just take Caleb and Marv and not even worry about it. So you have a lot of flexibility. I think it's just you pick the lane. You're not crazy going Marvin Neighbors. But I can tell he really likes taking receivers, given what he has last year. So he's probably just, I mean, hell, everybody look at the team he hit on last year. He hit on every pick. He's probably excited to just make all these picks.
Yeah, for sure.
This guy's 100%, Shane. This guy doesn't miss.
That's so like me in the OG league. I just happened to hit on him. Yep.
So is it an omen that he doesn't want to draft Caleb here?
No, I'm going to say that this dude had 46 picks in the draft, so of course he looks smart. I'm basing that on
all the ones he didn't get.
I mean, just look at it. So he went Flowers, Rice, Addison, JSN. That's probably he had like Downs. 107, 108, 109. Yeah, Downs, 201. Is it a premium? What's the premium on tight ends?
It's none.
So he
just
took
hammered
Laporta.
All 3 tight ends.
He probably got Kincaid at 201. He probably got Laporta at like 205 and Mayer right in between there. Where's Bijan? Oh, he had the 101. So he had the 101. Yeah. No, I mean, look, he got everybody that hit. I don't know that there was that many misses last year. Off the top of my head, I don't remember for some reason.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to have that Baker trade back because then
Yeah,
I could take
I
Caleb
was about to
Williams
put
and
it
then I
up.
could go get some other assets with the other pieces. So it feels like you're already pot committed. We gave up a first for Baker. When you have Caleb Williams sitting in your lap, I probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I gave up Kendra Miller 207 and a late 25 first for Baker. But okay, all good. Live to trade another day, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's move these. Let me do some cleanup on aisle StreamYard here real quick. We answered Adams. Let's go to Elliot. Shane. Here is a hammer from Elliot. Thank you very much. 10-team Superflex start 9, half PPR, 6 point per passing touchdown. Mahomes, Kyler, Watson, Fields at quarterback. Kyron Najee at running back. Jamar, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Olave T. Also has Jaden Reed. Kincaid at tight end. Has the 101, 106, 201, 225 firsts and seconds. Drafting Marv and falling QB. Traded Gibbs and the 104 for Chase and the 106. And the second part here, real quick. Feel like I'm weak at running back now, but I shouldn't be buying one. Ideas on who to move, blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't say blah, blah, blah. Who to move for what eventually this offseason. He says, thanks, you guys are him. I appreciate it, Elliot. Okay, so this is a 10-team Superflex, start 9, half PPR, Shane. What do you think?
So I like to do this because it's like the fun to add. There's Mahomes and Kyler. Well, there's 2 starters, right? And then you've got Kyron Najee. Okay, there's your running backs. You're good too. Jamar, ARSB, Garrett Wilson, and Olave. Everybody else, I guess Kincaid. Everybody else is tradable. I mean, I'm going to be consolidating. He traded Gibbs for the 104 and the 106. And what other pick does he? Oh, he has the 101 still. So, yeah, he can go ahead and add Marvin Harrison to this. I don't see the need at 106 to add another quarterback, though, with Watson and Fields. If you want to, I'm not going to argue with you because you don't have a lot of holes. It's just not like how I'd like to spend my capital. But like I said, after Olave, removing Kincaid from that mix, everything else, everyone else, every other player is tradable on this team if you want to consolidate at any other one position.
Shane, I'll give you the 106 and 106, 201, and Jaden Reed for Devon A-Chain and a 26 first.
I'm sorry. There was like cannons going off in the background. What?
I will give you the 106, Jaden Reed, and the 201 for a 26 first and Devon A-Chain.
You're giving me A-Chain?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll smash that.
Isn't this a team you'd go try to get A-Chain with the Jaden Reed and the 106 type assets?
Here, look, this is going to be my life advice. If I happen to step out tomorrow and I get hit by a truck, I want everyone to remember that what I am telling you this year is go get Devon A-Chain. If my dude, the only way the dude is not a league winner is if he gets injured. But
he puts up crooked numbers, doesn't he?
He is an absolute hammer. He's a pocket hammer, which might be a female toy. But anyway, he's Chain is a hammer. I won't call him a pocket hammer again, but he is definitely a hammer. So I'm adding Devon A-Chain to every team I can like that. But this is also, he already moved Gibbs, but Gibbs is another player that I really like. Any of those top 5 running backs, top 4 running backs, and then A-Chain.
Good thing Shane got back out in the dating world. We would not have had that clip.
There's it reminded me of this hammer that we have that's so on point. If we could just stay in the same thread here. It was a hammer, 2 hammers from Morgan. Thank you very much. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR start 9, 4 point per passing touchdown. Joe Burrow and the 109 are Lamar Jackson and Devontae Adams. Let's go ahead and answer that one. Let's go to Shane here. Yeah, Shane, start us off. Joe Burrow and the 109 or Lamar Jackson and Devontae Adams?
Lamar Jackson and Devontae Adams by not a kabillion. It's definitely not a kabillion, but it is in the that realm of numbering for me.
It's a lot.
Yeah. You already know I have Lamar. I don't know if I say well ahead, but I obviously like Lamar better than Joe Burrow. 4-point passing touchdown. Yeah, give me that Lamar rushing upside. And I'll take Devontae Adams over a random 109. I guess it's not a random 109. It's a very specific 109. It's in this class. But then whatever player is going to land there, I'm assuming I'm competing.
What if that's Rome Odunze at the 107? Does that change your mind at all?
At the 107, the 109?
It's Burrow in 107. For
Odunze over Lamar and Devontae Adams.
Like if you're not taking because I think you're viewing the 109 as like I don't really care about that as much as the 107. So how would you take it if it was the 107? Would you switch or would it be closer or what?
Bro, I think you got to get to the 106 to guarantee yourself room with Dunze.
Let's just assume for humor me and say he's there at 107. That you're getting him.
I'm not a clown. I'm not a comedian.
Closer, right?
Closer. I would think on that. Yeah, I would have to think on that because Rome. The closer we get to the draft, the more people are. I mean, people have liked them obviously, but the more that you're listening to them. Yes, a pocket rocket. That's what it was, not a pocket hammers. Thank you. Yes. Devon Chain's a pocket rocket. Anywho, yeah, if that's Roman Dunze and Joe Burrow, it is definitely a lot closer. I would have to think about that. That would be one I would have to think about. I'd still lean Lamar because I think he's more of a difference maker and needle mover than Joe Burrow.
And then this was part 2. It says, trying to beat the dudes at work. You guys are the best, especially the cute one on the left. Is it stage left? Stage left? Which one? You're on mute.
There's several lefts except for the middle. That's the only one that I know that it isn't.
I mean, you were on the left, whether it's Mannequin Chill or this stream. Yeah, right. So I'm pretty sure she's referring to you, Shane. So Shane takes it as a very, very flattered moment. And thank you for
Shane,
the hammers.
Like this doesn't happen all the time, right? I mean, just getting these.
No, it makes me feel awkward. So let's move on.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's go to Brian H888. Thank you for the hammer. Appreciate it. 12-team start 9. God, I thought that was a spider. 12-team start 8. 1.5 for the tight ends. This is FFPC. Scott, we'll go with you here. Mahomes, Burrow, Baker at quarterback. Chubb, Antonio Gibson at running back. Nico, Rice, Amari Cooper, Downs, and then also has Jacoby and JMO. I'm not even going to say that last one. Hunter Henry and Shig at tight end. 101, 201, 208, 209, 211. Inbox offer is Burrow, Downs, 211 for ETN, Kraft, the 106, 25 first and second. And then the last part, Guy wants Burrow. He's got the 106, 112, 206. Okay. He's got okay. The guy wants Burrow. What are you doing here? FFPC, Scott, 12-team start 8, 0.5 Titan premium.
I mean, it's not juiced up QB scoring, but I'm assuming this is a super flex, which he didn't mention. There's some that are and some that aren't. If it's not, then I think you're easily taking the other side with ETN and the 106. You know what? I just don't value the first and seconds as much here. Given the shallowness of the rosters, you got to cut down to 16 players. It's pretty easy to backfill guys like Tyler Boyd, J-Mo, Chig, Hunter Henry. Those guys are worthless, but arguably so is somebody like Tucker Kraft. Josh Downs is like right on the fringe in this kind of format. So you can almost remove everything else and just say it's Burrow for ETN in the first or ETN in the 106. I mean, you're getting a nice package. If you could go and probably find yourself a cheaper quarterback, I consider taking the other side because I think it rounds out your team. I'm good with it if you can turn those picks into something. What I don't want to do is just bank on drafting players because soon if you're going to draft the 106 and then the 2 picks next year, they're going to end up costing you down the road in terms of you just don't have that many roster spots to play with. So I really am not in the business of trying to do, 5 for 3 deals when everyone has to cut down to 20. So I don't hate it. If you can find another quarterback that you have Mahomes, can I go get another quarterback that maybe is a little upside that I don't have to necessarily pay for and just platoon it with Baker? I'd be good with it because it rounds out your team. I think pretty nicely getting ETN and then getting that 106. I mean, that's probably a Dunze or Bowers, which you could use both big time in this league. So yeah, I'm fine doing it.
Yeah, this just shows how FFPC is like a different animal. It's a completely different animal. I will never speak to an FFPC question solo. That's for damn sure. I'd be talking out of my ass. I think I generally understand the principles, but yeah.
Well,
you've never played in an FFPC league?
Never. Yeah.
So I joined a FFPC best ball Superflex Start 8, the traditional best ball Superflex. It's different, but the best ball makes it to where you do have to maximize all your roster spots. It's not as much in a Start 8 lineup league. I will give you 7 pieces if you give me a hammer, because everyone has to cut down to 16. So you look at the waiver wire and you're like, damn, that dude cut Josh Downs. Like, that's the kind of guy on waivers. Like, J-Mo's a guy that could be on waivers. So if you're getting like J-Mo level players on waivers, why would you ever value anything below a hammer? You know, you can just backfill with players like that. So it's tough to trade. Usually they're inactive. There's not a lot of movement. Everybody's seeking the same thing and it gets stale. So take it here. Take a little risk.
There we go. Make bets. Oh, speaking of which, the first start here was, I don't know how, Shane, how are you going to say that name right there? That username. Check that out.
CD Lit Lux.
CD Lit Lux says, no, it's CC did Lux. Do you like the guy in the thumbnail? So the thumbnail was Drake London, and the thumbnail said making bets. And I always think about that. What, Thinking in Bets book? What's her name? Annie.
Annie Duke. Thinking in Bets. Great book.
Yeah. So do you like the guy in the thumbnail? Drake London. Shane, do you like Drake London? Buy the dip. We just did a show on that. I'll just say CC did Lux. Check out the Buy the Dip Mannequin Chill. Drake London was on there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I got a little fuzzy there. I just want to put this out there again, because I feel like a lot of people I don't want to say don't listen when we speak, but maybe just latch on to one part of the conversation or latch on to one part of the sentence. I'm getting tired of people in my comments telling me that I don't like Drake, that I don't like CJ Stroud, that I don't like, I don't know, name player X. I like these players fine at a cost. I do not like these players when I have to pay wide receiver 10 prices for Drake. I understand projections, but if I was going to pay wide receiver 10 prices for a wide receiver, I probably want to do that for a wide receiver that's shown a little more than Drake, projecting them to continue to do so. All that said, I like Drake enough. I have him in one of 32 leagues.
You only have one
rosters. Now? One in look, I stick to my convictions. When I tell you that I'm going to sell a player because the market is overweight, overpricing them, whatever the word is, over wanting them, I do it. I'm balls to the wall. I'm gonna capitalize if I can. Unfortunately, CJ Stroud, I was unable to capitalize on his brief dalliance as the QB1, although he is back in there again, so I might try that. But no, I mean, I like Drake. I just don't like the what it costs to get him. So what I'd rather do is let him go out next year and put up a wide receiver 20 season and everyone hate him, because what we do is we go the complete opposite way, and everyone will tell you that he's just a bum, and then I can get him at a cheaper price.
Yep. Okay. Let's go ahead, Scott.
Say, does it feel like Keep Trade Cuts kind of becoming like meme coins, where it's like people talk about controversies and then the data changes, so it's not really real like dynasty valuations? Like it's not shocking that whole topic went up with Allen and Stroud, and then as soon as it did, Allen passes Stroud because people are like, oh, we can't have this. We got to go manipulate it to get it back the other way.
Manipulate the market.
It
is. And I'll say this there's definitely one of yours and Ray's favorite words is ADV, right? Because you go out on the streets and a lot of times, let me get back to that. A lot of times you can't get the value that KTC says you should get. And also people need to stop trashing KTC. Like, KTC isn't just making up these rankings. Like, guess who's these rankings are being made by? You, not you two specifically, and not you specifically listening, but you as a community, us as a community. That's where they're getting the rankings from. They're not.
I don't know any of the players every time I visit the site. I don't.
Okay. First of all, try answering the questions, and then you will get more players. I get a wide variety of players, and I take my time and think about it like you should.
Do you really? Do you really do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
look,
good for you.
I've never
good
voted
for
for
you.
the players. I just said I don't know players every time I go
they're
there.
giving me a free service. I'm going to take care. I'm going to definitely take advantage of that.
No, that's fair.
Imagine thinking, Block South, you are crazy, bro. I'm not giving you 4 firsts
Oh,
for
yeah.
Jalen Hurts and garbage. T. Higgins, meh. But thank you anyway. Appreciate it, my bro.
KTC is giving Shane a free subscription to their site, so he makes sure he
No,
votes
No, it's just
accurately.
like I said, they give us a free service. The least I can do is take my time to think about the buttons that I'm pressing.
And when people trash like KTC and Sleeper, you can't trash KTC since we're talking about them. I mean, they've helped like blow the game of Dynasty up. Like it's so good for the community. Same thing with Sleeper. So whatever. Okay, let's keep moving here. This is a good one for you, Scott, that we had starred. Ethan22 says, any tips for how to free up roster space? Have a ton of thirds and fourths, but need some creative ways to move them to make room for other draft picks.
Well, I'd say run the war, come up with your roster construction, trade from anything that's on the fringes, and either backfill with those picks or be willing to just kick the pick to the future. I mean, listen, if you know you're already up against a roster crunch and you have the 306 and the 308 and the 309 and you can only pick one, keep one and trade 2 for future thirds. You know, if you can get a better pick, then sure. But who's out there trading a future second for the 306 and the 309? Probably not, unless it's on the clock or you've already seen the landing spots. So sometimes you just got, the value is not making the pick because you're cutting a running back to draft a running back. So did you really make a 3rd round pick? Maybe. But I think sometimes the value is making the pick and having it later, not having to use a roster spot on it.
That was deep, Scott. That was super deep.
Yeah, it's like if the tree falls in the forest, but no one's there to hear it. Thing.
If you drafted a running back, did you really make the pick?
Yeah, sure.
That's me and Shane for you right there. That's a classic Clay and Shane laughing moment there. Okay, Dax, thank you for the hammer. Appreciate it. 14 team super flex. We still have 1,159 eyeballs in here. We're we're all exhausted, but we're gonna make it through this. That's for sure. Thanks to all of you for being in here. Dak, 14 team super flex, half PPR, one full PPR for the tight ends. Start 11. So 14 team super flex, start 11 here. Shane, Allen, Purdy, Stafford at quarterback. 3, I'm not even going to try that.
Backups.
3 backups. Thank you. Kyron, ETN, Brain Rob, Charbonnet, and then at wide receiver, Chase, Hill, Olave, Evans, Shaheed, Palmer. Tight ends are Kelsey, Juwan, and Janu. Pick-wise has the 101, 213, 225 first plus the futures. Gave Henry got a mid to late 25 first, then gave the 113, got ETN. Should I, and how do I tier down from the 101? Low, I have an offer out. Give the 101 and Olave, get the 103 London and Waddle. What would you add on top? Okay, so how are we going to revisit this first? So let me just say it's a 14 team super flex start 11 half PPR. Shane.
Well, first of all, let's look at this offer: 101 and Olave, and you get the 103 London and Waddle. So Olave cancels out with London or a Waddle. So either way, it's either the 101 for 103 in London or 103 and Waddle. I don't know if that's enough now, considering the format. It is 14 team start 11.
Yeah,
it's a smash for the team getting the 3. It's 154 definitely. Starters. I would start 13. You know.
I appreciate you doing that because I was trying to do the math in my head and I gave up at 144. I just stopped. Yeah, I think you have to do it. I think you have to do it considering the format. Now, again, if this is start 9, it's different. But start 11, 14 team, like it's hard getting making a deal.
It's
like
tough.
that.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, it's because it's not just that this package is good enough. It's also not many people in the league have enough assets to send you an offer like this. Like this might legitimately be the only deal you get that looks like this at any point. So yeah, I think you have to take it.
It's like our Orb League. You're looking on the bench and you're going, hell yeah, I have like Curtis Samuel. You know what I mean? You're excited you have a starter like that. And the first deal you smashed. You gave up Derrick Henry for a future first. And then you got Travis Etienne for the 113. You got a better running back. And you basically moved the 113 for a first, and you can't get any lower basically than the 113. So you smashed both of these deals. You made your team better, and you didn't give up shit. Well done. Well done, Dax.
Well done, Dax.
I wouldn't say he didn't give up. Well, he's making the next deal is the one where he gives up some pain. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another one from Andrew. Thank you for the hammer, sir. Shane, we'll go with you. You look dialed in. 12-team, start 10, half PPR, 4-point per passing touchdown, productive struggle with the 101, 103, 4, 6. Then he's got 4 seconds and 5.25 firsts. Levis, what is that you're playing with? I could see it on the screen below too. Never mind. Levis, Charbonnet, Addison as my ones. Manager with the 102 and 105 has steadfastly stated that he's going chalk. My question is, which combo seems better? Marv plus the rest or Caleb plus the rest? Ideally, I'm trying to leave the first round with 2 QBs and 2 wide receivers. So who did I say I was starting with? Shane was dialed in. 12-team start 10, 4-point per passing touchdown. Shane, what are you doing with these picks?
Well, I mean, it's 4-point passing touchdown, right? So it actually devalues Caleb Williams. I guess Drake May and Jaden Daniels would be the two that it would give more value to. Couple things though. One, shout out for using the word steadfastly. Don't hear that enough. And 2, I don't know if I said this out loud or if I just said it in the chat, but make sure you check out the overreaction pod. This is the second time someone's brought up productive struggle today, and they actually did an episode on that about the never-ending productive struggle that some people face, which would just be struggle. Really wouldn't be productive at that point. Me personally, since I hate when people say that, so hopefully we can edit that out. We'll pretend that didn't happen.
Look at it.
Yeah, no, damn it. I'm going Marv at 3. I'm fine going Daniels, and 4 Drake May, unless I can use some of these picks to actually trade for a quarterback. It's super flex, right? I'm not imagining this.
Yeah. So how are you going Marv at 3?
I didn't. I'm going Marv at 1. At 103, I'm going Jaden Daniels or Drake May.
Yeah, I mean,
unless of course, well, he said his guy's going to go chalk at 102, right? So he's going to take Caleb there. So at 103, that's probably going to put. Well, then I'm just taking neighbors.
Well, here's what he said. The second part of his question, he goes, he wants to leave with 2 QBs and 2 receivers. He has 4 of the top 6 picks. The only point that he has control is the 103 and the 104. So I think what he's saying is if he takes Marv and then Caleb goes 2, he's going receiver, and just letting the QB come to him at 6 because there'll be 1 more there. Versus if he goes with Caleb, Marv's going to go, and now he has to basically reach on a QB probably at 4 if he wants to get a second one because he's taking neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd rather leave this draft with the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and QB 2 as opposed to, let me try to do the math here, quarterback 1, wide receiver 2 and 3 at that point, right?
QB 1 and 2 or 3, and then wide receiver 2 and 3. So, I mean, listen, you have 4 of the 6 picks. We could come back to this conversation in a year and go, holy shit, that was horrible. You picked the totally wrong guys.
The exact wrong people.
One more point from Chasing Cody's pod. I encourage everybody to listen to it on Destination Debbie Radio. When you're doing a productive struggle, you know the kind of guys that are bad for productive struggles, like Zach Charbonnet and Will Levis, because they're sure, could they hit? Yes, but most likely, where are they in a year, Shane? I don't know about those guys. Yeah. I wish I could sell them. So, your productive struggle should be selling guys like Will Levis when he's a starter and selling guys like Zach Charbonnet to the Ken Walker manager or somebody that still likes them. Like, those really don't have a place in a productive struggle. You'd almost better off having more picks.
Scott, we'll start with you on this one. 3 hammers from John J. Brand. Thank you very much. 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR. We have Lamar Jackson, Dak, and Russ. Sorry, let me reread this. Lamar Jackson, Dak, Russ, and Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Brees, Gibbs, Ramondre, Monty at running back. Pittman, Smitty, Keenan, Dio John, and then Kirk. Has Mandrews and Schultz at tight end. Has 225 seconds. Activity is mid, and the trade is give Gibbs in the 307, get Flowers in a mid 25 first. I have running backs to spare and few draft picks, so this feels like a good move, but with low activity, I fear I get stuck with Flowers. What do you think here, Scott? 12-team Superflex, start 10. Our stock format here.
It's a fair deal from, I'm not sure you can just get more for a running back, Clay. You should know that well. You're not just getting at least this every time you chop a guy like Gibbs or Brees, right? So I think he's probably getting a pretty fair offer here. The question is Zay Flowers enough? Now that I have the Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews triple stack, I'm really leaning into the Ravens. I have a good team otherwise, right? L-Jax, Dak, Brees, enough running backs. I have a decent receiver core, like no studs, but I have definitely enough to get by, a good tight end. Does this put me in a range where I feel real good about winning? Or should I try to just get something different if I'm moving Brees Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs? Should I aim somewhere different? Maybe I don't need the 25 first back. Can I turn one into a better receiver? I'm guessing he probably can't or has tried and has failed. I don't hate the process deal, but I could also see easily where you get burned. He even said he could get stuck with Flowers. And if Flowers comes out and is just a 900-yard receiver, who is going to want him? Nobody.
And stuck with that 25, the mid 25 first as well, maybe. If it's a low activity league, I mean, unless I'm speaking out of turn, the picks will have less activity as well. And then you'll be drafting a guy who may be another Flowers for all you know.
Doesn't Flowers feel like
cycle?
Doesn't Flowers feel like in a couple years he's another Christian Kirk or Deontay Johnson? Doesn't he kind of feel like he's kind of the same thing, like going down the same track? And that's not a shade on him. You just don't want 5 of those guys on your team when you already have a hammer. So I wonder what else you could do. Could I add one of the seconds to Brees or Bijan and get a hammer receiver? Would you like that better, Shane? I can get CD Lamb and I have to add 2 seconds and Gibbs for CD Lamb. Would you do that to get out of the running back trap?
Yep, 100%.
Amon-Ra?
Mm-hmm.
Try that first. If you really want to get out of the running back value or running back market here, try one of those deals. And if you can't get it done, I don't hate this kind of trade. I don't hate it. Can I get a 26 first in that deal? And I'll give you the 2 seconds. Let me just stack another first.
Oh, you're still asking me questions?
Yeah, he tweaked that Gibbs in the 2 seconds CD one. He also wants a 26 first in there.
All right, give me the offer again. Send me the offer again. What was the offer?
I will give you Jahmyr Gibbs and 225 seconds.
No.
You didn't even hear. You didn't
for
even
Lamb.
hear the deal. No,
Lamb's on the other side.
You're trying to add another piece and get a first instead of the 2 seconds. So maybe you have to add a Deontay, Keenan Allen, something like that. You know, you're trying to hide some value in there to convince the person to give you a first for the future. Anyway, he's got ideas. It's a fair trade. That's just not the form I would just start with. I'd see what else I could do first.
This is a great username here. Lieutenant Lollipop. Thank you for the hammer. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR start 11, 1.75 tight end premium. Love this format. Tua Brissett at quarterback. Don't love that QB room. And Shay, we're going to go with you on this one. Tua Brissett then has JT, Mixon, Chubb. Wide receivers CD, AJ Brown, Debo, Jaden Reed, DJ Moore, Dio John, and Godwin. Kelsey and Hawkinson at tight end. Traded Fields for Moore a couple days early. I've tried making moves for a QB using Brown, but no one wants to trade a QB. Do I overpay for one or try to win with only one QB? So 12-team Superflex start 11, tight end premium. He's got Tua and Brissett. He said he sold. What was this? He traded Fields for Moore a couple days early. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means there. I'm gonna
Probably means he traded more or Fields for
Fields for
more
DJ
before
Moore.
he got traded. He went to Pittsburgh, but he's probably viewing Fields as a Pittsburgh starter. I would take DJ Moore over Justin Fields.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
fine.
that
I have no problem with that deal.
1000%. You take that deal every day, and we're strong advocates for adding Justin Fields to your roster, but not at the expense of DJ Moore. So you absolutely crushed on that deal. Sure. Yeah. Buy quarterbacks. All right. What assets are you going to use to get them?
Man,
I'll tell you what.
Zero picks
I'm
listed,
dumpster
guys.
diving QB here. Let me go get Minshew, Darnold. You know what? This is a good enough team. I can win without any good quarterbacks other than Tua. I'll just bank on Brissett starts some games. Darnold starts some games.
You said other than Tua, as if Tua is good.
Tua is a starter. I can win with all backups.
If you can get 3 Tuas on your team, you're fine. You want to get really, really expensive, go get Baker Mayfield. But to Scott's point, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, someone brought him up in the chat earlier. I forget who, but I'll steal your idea. Daniel Jones, multiple quarterbacks like that. Brissett, where's Brissett now? I don't even remember.
New England.
At this
New
point.
England starter.
Oh, he is the starter. So there you go. You've got him on a not a good offense. So yeah,
you go get Minshew, Darnold, Stidham, and Brissett. I guarantee you get at least a dozen, if not more, starts out of those guys.
Yes,
at least.
Yes.
Just grind. Yeah. Yeah, because you got some studs elsewhere in the roster there. Dustin Brown says, "What's up, fellas? When's the next listener league?" So process over players just got filled. And then we have to do the JJ League is coming soon thereafter. And then, yeah, listener leagues, we'll see. We're going to keep what's a crap stick. League crap stick is probably going to come up at some point. But first access is to our patrons, patreon.com/all gas below me right there. That sounded bad.
Shane, you got to slow Clay down for starting these leagues. And then he doesn't even want to come them.
Yeah, we look, crap stick was literally just created. That word was just created last week. We can't be giving it its own league.
Well, yeah, not yet. But you get the idea. No,
apparently Scott agreed to do all of these leagues when I just get the invite.
Yeah, no, I literally, after Scott got the invite, I was like, just a heads up, Scott, you did agree to this one because it is a Dynasty Best Ball is what the process over players one is. But yes, join our Patreon and you have a shot to get into listener leagues. And leagues are starting up over there too, amongst them, of course. Okay, let's go to, we're just going to do a couple more here. We did Lieutenant Lollipops. Shane, we're going to do Bada Bing, Bada Booms. Thank you for the hammer.
I was going to ask Shane to say that name.
I think you could probably do that one though, Shane. I don't know. That's like right up your alley. 10-team Superflex, PPR, start 10, 1.5 for the tight ends. Bryce Young, Fields, Levis, Darnold at QB, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Rojo, Algier. And then at wide receiver, London, Olave, JSN, Dotson, Laporta, Mayer, and Kraft at tight ends. Pick-wise, 104, 105, 107, 204, 207, and all futures. What do you do with these picks? Do you hammer the best wide receivers / Bowers available? What could I package both seconds for? The activity level is mid on this one. TBD on Neighbors / Daniels as third. Bada bing, bada boom.
Shane, did he list Ronald Jones? Or is that Roshan Johnson?
That's got to be Roshan Johnson.
It's got to be Roshan.
You still have to.
Has Roshan Johnson replaced Rojo as Ronald Jones?
He must have. He has to. He's the new Rojo because the former Rojo was unable to do
sell him right now because he's out of the league in 2 years.
Yeah. Get rid of him. So do we want to hammer wide receivers with 104, 105, 107? He said, what wide receivers can I get for the 204 and the 207? And go back to his wide receiver room for me, please, if you would. Appreciate that, my friend. We've got London Olave. I mean,
it's London Olave, JSN, and Dotson.
Yeah, I mean, it's start 10. Dotson doesn't even count. Like, if you're naming him, you definitely need some help. But 104, 105, Young, Fields, Levis, It's super flex. Where are the rest of his quarterbacks?
That's it.
This is all you got, Shane. This is your roster.
And I'll tell you what, this is the kind of QB room that the last
yeah, that's why I was smiling when I was reading it. I was like, this is exactly it. Yep.
I mean, so do you want to add JJ McCarthy to this mix?
Sounds like he would fit.
So at 104, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, at 104, let's just do the math as always. It's Caleb. The only way so you get at least Rome Dunze at worst. At worst, Caleb, Marv, Neighbors, Rome. So yeah, I'll take wide receiver at 104. Then we're going to switch it up, take JJ at 105, and then at 107, probably Bowers.
Yeah. I ain't taking a QB.
No, he's got Laporta. He's got Laporta, Mayer, and Kraft. Never mind. I'm sorry. First of all, I don't know why you have so many tight ends. I'd be looking to see if I can move Mayer and Kraft to anyone because it's a fake tight end premium. And also you have Sam Laporta, so you really don't need another tight end on that roster. So that's what you should be looking to move, that 204, the 7, Mayer, Kraft, Dotson, JSN. Those are all the pieces I'm trying to use to get a better wide receiver. I don't know that those are going to be useful pieces to do it.
So you sweep up all the crumbs off your floor and decide to make a meal out of it is basically what you're saying.
I look at the comments, right, man, and repeatedly people tell us, say that mean things to me about not liking JSN. They tell me Dotson's going to be a year 3 breakout. People do like Mayer, and I like Mayer. People like Kraft. So those are guys would have some value. You add them all together, maybe you can, conglomerate them and make a real player.
Did we even answer the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I told him he can't just hammer wide receiver because he needs to draft JJ. Okay, so at 104, because he has the 104 and the 105. So
I am not taking a QB in a 10-teamer when I'm taking the QB4.
I'll tell you what, I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Dunze and Neighbors.
No, he's got the 104. I'll take Jaden Daniels in this. Okay. So Jaden Daniels or Drake May, who's also got that rushing ability. Not JJ. Yeah, not JJ. Excuse me there.
No problem. I just want to go back and listen to what word you just made up.
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate.
It was okay. Let's hit
a graphic where like a bunch of shitty players just like merge into one and it pops out like CeeDee Lamb.
Let me see here. If we already got that one. Inbox offer that was starred here. We'll hit from W. Van Ness. Thanks for the question. Inbox offer, Scott. 10-team, start 10, PPR Superflex. Give Devontae Adams the 104 and 310. Get Amon-Ra St. Brown. Thoughts?
I'm fine with it. If it's Neighbors and Adams, I could at least squint and say, all right, maybe I would go with the other side, but no, I'm good just locking in Amon-Ra. There's no stress over who goes what at 101, 102, 103. You get your guy, you trade off a 31-year-old receiver and maybe a guy you'd hope to become close to Amon-Ra. So, yep, I'm good taking it. The third doesn't matter here.
You good with this, Shane? Would you give Devontae Adams 104 for Amon-Ra?
Yeah, maybe.
10-teamer?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
103?
Probably no, maybe 103. Doing the calculations in my head
do that right now.
That could be Neighbors.
The first answer that goes right from your brain to your lips is what you should just go with.
It's not.
When I ask within 1 second, you're like, "Yep, done."
That's the problem.
It's not English, Scott. There's a lot of filtering that has to go on. I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's a ton of filtering going on in there. I think you'd probably be foolish to not take Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though you could probably get Malik Neighbors at 103. We hope that Malik Neighbors turns into the Amon-Ra St. Brown.
If it was a start 8, Shane, which one side would you take? Because it's effectively a start 8. It's a 10-team start 10. So it's Amon-Ra.
Yeah, it's Amon-Ra. I literally just said that.
That almost makes me want to take Devontae Adams' side in that pick and try to buy like another, I don't know, starter hammer in there. Every time I hear start 8 or something, it's just I just want to go Wild West with it. With somebody else's start 8 roster.
New listener league
Don't play
coming up.
them.
Clay will be
Start 8.
commissioning a start 8, and Shane and I do not have to play it.
Oh man. All right.
Yes, I saw Bill in there asking about a hammer. He said he put it in there at the beginning of this stream. I don't think we even got through all the ones that we entered this stream with, let alone that. So that's maybe tomorrow's show.
Bill, thanks.
I don't know.
Yeah, Bill, thanks for the hammer. So we've definitely got a bunch in the hopper, and I'm going to be on with John Bauer from Dynasty Theory tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. We're going to knock out a bunch, but essentially when you donate a hammer to support the channel, we'll hopefully answer it on the following live stream. But if it's not that one, it'll be the next one. So 2 away, if not the one directly after it. So we're going to smash through these. We really appreciate all the support with these hammers, our new super chats. But yeah, that's the quote unquote cadence, if you will. Guys, that's it. We're going to call it a night. Shane, Scott, would you like to say goodnight to the crowd, our Tuesday night crew?
I was waiting for Scott to say something.
I was letting you go.
You always go second.
You
Shane.
first.
No, I usually go first. Appreciate everyone watching. Whatever. The hats are available somewhere. I'm not sure where. A lot of questions about the hats tonight.
I'm super pumped. I'm gonna get I'm getting a sample from a new store, much higher quality. So yes, let's not.
Hey, I'll say this.
Here's what I'll say. Yet.
If you like this, go become a patron. Apparently, there you go. Patreon.com/all gas. First time I ever got that right. If you click on the link, absolutely nothing will happen right there. But if you just type that into your URL and go become a patron, one, I'll like you better and I'll talk to you more. For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, remember everybody, draft stream coming up in 16 days. Sign up for Underdog. DDD's the promo code. Join, even if you're just going to join for a month. Trust me, you want to get in the community. If you leave after a month, that's on you. But this is the time of the year to join. We have the draft guide. We have the draft stream. All the prizes, you're eligible. We have a draft contest inside the Discord, which you can also enter. It's like the March Madness of draft contests. So just check out all of that and support all the other creators on DD's work. You're not going to be able to find pocket rockets on any of the sites. So that got brought up tonight. Thank you, Shane.
Maybe.
But yeah, just support everybody. And, tomorrow night with John Bauer. John Bauer is a cool dude. Really, really engaging. He's been on the stream before. Shout out to his old Super Flexology podcast that probably nobody in here ever listened to or heard of. But
I remember.
Good stuff. Looking forward to watching it. I know you have, Shane, but very few people remember Dynasty from like 2019. So
yeah, those guys are great over there. Dynasty Theory, how they break down trades, they're very processed, and
but they're different than us.
Refreshing. They're absolutely.
I've been able to play in leagues with them, and they do not play the same way as us, but they have their own approach, which they will explain to you. And I don't always agree, but that's exactly what this space needs. So tune in tomorrow. What time you going live, Clay?
9 Eastern. 9 Eastern. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see you then. I'm going to end this one. Thank you very much.